It is going to be part of the Hermès Meter 50 Classic Series, currently being led by Luis Fernando Larrazabal here during circuit after the first 8 weeks. Hermès, of course, the luxury fashion brand of Paris, but of course with their roots in equestrianism and saddlery, and the Hermès Equestrian Shop, part of our portfolio of boutiques here at Wellington International. Long-term partners of the Winter Equestrian Festival as well. Our thanks so much to them, and great to have them as supporters of this really enjoyable Meter 50 Classic Series during circuit. So what a week it has been here for week 9 of the Winter Equestrian Festival, presented by Bainbridge Companies, and our live stream is presented by Dodd Technologies. Dodd Technologies are industry leaders in creative design and technical support services for sports, entertainment and special events. Visit them online at doddtechnologies.com. And USEF are a supporting sponsor of our live stream through their USEF network, powered by Clip My Horse TV. Our thanks so much to everyone at US Equestrian for the support they give us to circuit and our live stream. So let's have a look at some of the stories that have played out during this 9th week of circuit here for 2025. A Friday morning winner here at Meter 50 level was McLean Ward and First Lady. So McLean is in good form. He is going to be part of the starting list of today's Hermès Classic. He couldn't quite seal the deal with a big victory last night, but he got his Grand Prix qualification easily with a good win here on Friday morning. And now he'll be hungry for a little bit more prize money, a few world ranking points, and an opportunity to climb the Hermès Classic standings here on Sunday of week 9. Back on Thursday's Adequan WEF Challenge, it was Dara Kenny who stood supreme. Dara, who was so close to victory last night, of course, podium finisher, second place in our Lugano week 7 5-star Grand Prix. Dara had the fastest, but with an unlucky rail last night in the Grand Prix. But here he is winning the Adequan WEF Challenge on Thursday with 0K, and he won it handsomely. Quite the margin of victory for Dara Kenny here on Thursday. And then last night, we won't see her today. We will see Sister Zoe, though, a couple of horses in this class. But Emily Conter on International Women's Day does it for the girls. Girls rule the world, and they ruled the world last night in the Bainbridge Company's 5-star Grand Prix. Emily Conter, Portobello van der Fruitkorf, besting the jump-off starting field, including, as we just heard, Dara Kenny last night to lead the podium. A podium that included world number 1 of the sport, Henrik von Eckermann, and his World Championship partner, King Edward. Emily Conter taking the 5-star victory, a first 5-star Grand Prix victory of her career. So our start list is set, and we should be seeing about 55 come forward here in our Hermès Meter 50 Classic. Great support from the 5-star riders right through to this final class of the weekend. And Mark Blumen of Columbia is going to get us going. Mark, who was part of our 5-star Grand Prix starting field last night. Mark and Conquer PS joining us here for our Hermès Meter 50. And remember, it is the winning round, so that limited number based on faults and time coming back for the second round, and it is a strictly limited number here. It's not the scenario where all the clears would come back. Yeah, rail pull there at the net jets. See Mark just balancing, turning back here because he had that little bit being out of rhythm from the net jets. He let it carry him through to the end of the line, knowing then that he had the moment to sit up and pause. Tight rollback turn here. That's very similar to one of the turns on last night's jump-off track for the 5-star Grand Prix. $69.98 is going to be the time taken, and with 4 faults there for Mark Blumen and Conquer PS. Time allowed a very comfortable 77 seconds when you see that sub 70-second time posted from Mark Blumen, but with the winning round format, they will be hustling along because not only are they looking for qualification, I mean, if we get more than 12 clear rounds, somebody will miss out based on time, but also the faster you are, the further up the winning round start list you will go. So Stefan de Freitas Barcher and Ana Egua Ramos's Dinosio Imperio Egipcio. The reigning Pan American Games individual gold medalist Stefan de Freitas. Big part of Brazil's team structure last year through the League of Nations team jumping competition as well, bringing together those top 10 teams in the world. Still on the 0 score at the moment. As soon as I say it, cuts down on the front rail out of that Oxer just in front of the jury box. Comes to this rollback turn ready for the final couple of questions on this Hermès Meter 50 Classic first round. Has that Japanese fans vertical down behind the gazebo. A little bit slower, 71.12. I think, you know, if we do see somebody clear in 69, 68 seconds, they should feel quite competitive. They should feel like they're going to get one of those 12 places. That's the impression given at the moment. Well, we'll wait and see for sure. As we always say in these things, nothing is confirmed until we have those first 12 scores. An 8, though, for Stefan de Freitas Barcher, you would start to feel like that's probably going to be out of contention for a place in the winning round. We've had plenty of winning rounds where 4 has come forward, or indeed clear with time faults. We could end up with 1 or 2 of those as well. Let's see how the competition develops and breaks down as we go on to Olympian Tyser Owen. Tyser with Vanturo for Michael and Wendy Smith. Tyser was awarded the Martha Jollicoeur Leading Lady Rider Prize as part of our Parade of Champions. Those points over the course of our Bainbridge Companies Grand Prix and Adequan WEF Challenge. And Michael and Wendy Smith also supporting the Leading International Rider bonus, a $25,000 bonus for the Leading International Rider at the end of circuit during Rolex US Equestrian Open Week. Tyson Ventura just stepping up to this a little bit. They're having a good cut at this time-wise. And actually nicely moving up and down the gears because she's very, very balanced there, conscious of the triple combination. Hustles a tiny bit around to that avocado materials. The light green was so influential under the lights last night, jumping towards the Rolex bridge and the in-gate. Just look to lose a little bit of confidence and rhythm there inside the double combination. They have the vertical on the way out for 4 faults. And you see here as well, going to be a little bit closer overall, despite Tyser's efforts early on to the 77 seconds time allowed. So inside the time, but the slowest we've seen so far, 73.87 with 4 faults. The JO coming up because on paper, Tyser would go forward at this stage because we have not yet got 12 positions filled. Mark Blumen, the fastest of what is now 2 4-faulters with Tyser Owen sitting second. So one of the world's top 10 and a reigning Olympic champion of our sport, Christian Kuckuck, now with Comiltano E. German rider, the defending champion come Rolex week 12 here at circuit with his Olympic gold medal winning partner Checker, who we saw jumping last night in our Bainbridge 5-star Grand Prix. Christian just really sends Comiltano up to that first fence. Again, he'll be very, very conscious of the specifications of the class, how he's not only looking for a clear, but really to get the advantage out of the first round, looking for quite a fast clear round. To Christian, again, it's really interesting to just see the way he approaches different horses, because, you know, Checker is right up there under him. Ears perked forward. This horse is a much sort of longer, lower profile and way of going. And Christian, with the Japanese fans down, he's a 74.02 on the clock and 4 faults. So it's Mark Bloom and Tyser Owen, Christian Kuckuck are top 3 at the moment, all on 4, but ranked in that order: Bloom, Owen, Kuckuck, based on time. Next up, Adrian Sternlicht for the USA with Starlight Farms, Los Angeles de l'Essence. You see her there in a bio picture with the US team coat, of course part of the gold medal winning World Championships team in Tryon in 2018, amongst many other team appearances. So with the great crystalline. Just looking back, you know, comparing and contrasting the weeks, this is one of the first times it really feels like Alan Wade has used a line right down there in front of the blue seats in the Blue Ribbon Club. Full or empty, those seats. That area of the ring has been quite influential. We saw our designers, Anthony D'Ambrosio in particular, during Lugano week 7, getting some good results out of lines and questions placed there on the bottom end of the arena. Over our sponsor Hermès fence and setting up for this rollback. Chooses a very, very nice line, actually cutting beside the wing of this jump before ballooning out into the circle and approach she wants to make. But again, that 69 seconds early on from Mark Bloom is looking very, very competitive, as most of our other riders are coming home inside the time, but with a number that starts in the 7. 74.63. However, Adrian Sternlicht and Los Angeles de l'Essence are our first clear round. That will be valuable, but you feel like there's the opportunity for several to be faster than her. It would be disappointing to jump clear. I mean, we've seen 5 riders so far and only 1 of them clear. It would be disappointing if there ended up being more clears than places in the winning round and your pace kept you out. Career winner here at the Winter Equestrian Festival of Grand Prix action. Elise Oken, Elise a team rider also rode at the Abu Dhabi leg of the League of Nations at the beginning of 2024, at least with High Hopes Farm LLC's Bonhomme Richard. At least a top 10 finisher recently in World Cup action at WEC Ocala. A rider who's as often in action up there at the Ocala venue as down here with us on circuit at the Winter Equestrian Festival. It's on the Sierra score, turning back to the Japanese fans, and down they go. It is such a tough turn, and it's really about balance and concentration that you are going to make a turn and deliver yourself so that you arrive at that very, very delicate vertical on exactly the right spot. The last down two between the Cathedral Towers. So it's actually going to be 8 faults for Elise Oken and Bonhomme Richard in 76.13. So into 6th place at the moment. And as we've been saying, whatever about the 4 faulters, the 8 faulters probably know already, especially having perhaps analysed a little bit the stats in the way of going of these Hermès Meter 50 series across circuits so far. You know, that 8 faults is probably too much. Shane Sweetnam, Corian van Klapskuit. Shane Sweetnam and VoQuest LLC in the co-ownership of this Comme il faut bred horse. Two-time Olympian Shane. A great supporter of circuit. Probably see him in action here all 13 weeks with the 12 weeks of WEF and Premier Week as well. And of course the whole Sweetnam family operation and their clients in action in pretty much every ring at the show. And so when they held the season opening press conference, that was one of the things they pointed to, the likes of Lily Keenan, who started out on Pony Island and short stirrups and cross rails and ends up as a US team rider and a 5-star contender here week in, week out in the international arena. Denied the opportunity to be a clear, and it would have been faster than Adrian Sternlicht as well. It is the Lugano down for Shane and Corian van Klapskuit on the way home. 71.77, just behind Mark Blumen in terms of the 4 faults. Remember, Mark's still the only rider to get around this track in under 70 seconds. Staying with Irish riders now, we go to Jordan Coyle with Falkirk Farms 4 Gold. Jordan and 4 Gold were the winners of the Adequan WEF Challenge during week 9 12 months ago. And Jordan, a member of the jump-off starting field in last night's Bainbridge 5-star Grand Prix. So still a couple of important questions to answer as they jump the Hermès. Jordan and 4 gold get a nice turn back there. And Jordan's actually quite conscious of where he is. He jumps right of centre across that, manages the distance then, putting himself a little bit left of centre over the Lugano. And then look at this, putting it all together, clear in sub 70 seconds, 69.15 for Jordan Coyle and 4 gold to be our leading time and score at the moment of 2 clears, Adrian Sternlicht, Jordan Coyle, both hoping that they've done enough to put themselves through to the winning round. Gabriel de Matos Machado and Donna. Brazilian rider owns and rides this one by Thunder van der Zuthoven. Gabriel really featuring across several classes in the last few weeks here, but in particular, of course, last weekend's Nations Cup Grand Prix. That was our Sunday feature. Ended up top 5 in that Nations Cup Grand Prix during week 8. Florida Coast Equipment Week here with us on circuit. Four balls for Gabriel de Matos Machado. The time 73.94, so going 6th on the ranking for that partnership and that performance. Nicky Gallagher of County Meath is going to be our next to go, part of a huge Irish contingent here. Over the years at the Winter Equestrian Festival, Nicky here. Career Grand Prix winner during circuit. He's going to ride Holly Caristo's Serenade B. So Nicky, in his mind, thinking about that 69.15 leading time from Jordan Coyle. If he qualifies for the winning round, he wants to be right up there in the start list, but unfortunately, the wheels come off that plan almost before he went through the start beams. Nicky thought he could do enough. Obviously, Serenade backing off that wee bit. And it's going to be 2 disobediences and elimination, unfortunately, for Nicky and Serenade. So 2 on the 0 score. Jordan Coyle, 4 gold. Los Angeles de l'Essence and Adrian Sternlicht. So we go to Peter Lutz. Peter with Lobster Stuteri's Katrina. Lobster Stuteri through their Youngster Challenge, supporting both jumpers and dressage horses here during the course of circuit with the Adequan Global Dressage Festival over in the other showgrounds and our Winter Equestrian Festival for jumpers here. Antonia Axon Johnson's Lobster Stud, incredible supporters of equestrian sport here in the United States and in Europe, particularly, of course, at home for her in Sweden. Peter Lutz has been a World Cup finalist for the United States of America, riding at the home of the finals over in Gothenburg, Sweden. And Katrina and Peter a couple of times in Grand Prix action during the course of circuit, including featuring in our 3-star meter 55 Grand Prix during week 6, and also in Grand Prix action last autumn at the new Silo Ridge Masters show in upstate New York. Really rubs that rail going into the A element of the triple combination. It might just get Katrina that little bit up in the air for what's to come. Dutch Warmblood mare by Cannon. So Peter and Katrina back to the Japanese fans. They stay up. 69.15. He's not going to be there in terms of fastest clear, but is he going to become our third clear? Peter, Katrina, 77 seconds time allowed. He catches that. 75.13. It's a little bit slower than Adrian Sternlicht. It goes third on the ranking here. Just to put it in context as well, we have seen, 11 trips, and we have 3 clears, so we get our 12th. If they are not clear, then that's going to be a 1 in 4 conversion rate, about 25%. Which, looking at the number of starters, could equate to a couple more clears than we have places in the winning round. So Lily Keenan, Le Louvre. Three clears at the moment. Lily would love to make it 4 here, and she'd love to be competitive. She'd like to post a time, and I think if you went faster than Jordan Coyle, you'd feel pretty confident about making it back for the winning round, and actually with a good starting position as well. The rail that Peter Lutz rubbed goes down for Lily Keenan at the A element of the triple combination. But I'm not suggesting a link between the twos. It will have been checked by the ring crew. This horse for Lily, actually a top 5 finisher in Grand Prix action during the course of circuit. Lily also, remember, podium in our previous 5-star week, Lugano Diamonds week 7. With her World Championships horse, Argan de Belliard. Again, you just see there how close they're scything in alongside the fan wing before they bow out like a fish hook and turn back to actually jump the fence. Got some very fast 4-faults as well, like Mark Bloom and our Trailblazer. 75.25 for Lily, and Le Louvre with their 4-faults is going to go 9th at this early stage. So we're probably about a quarter of the way through the starting field, and Lily in 9th already. So I think we can certainly say that our 8-faulters won't make it back, and certainly not our slower 4s either. We can start to see that already with 3 clear rounds. Peter Lutz, Adrian Sternlicht, and the fastest of them, Jordan Coyle. Canadian Olympian Aaron Ballard next to go. The Lanfurter Stables Sanavisto. Net jets to vertical line, going down towards the south end of the ring. Aaron turning back now for this. Well, we've seen quite a few problems, and again, it's about one of those turns. Aaron would have probably just been trying to shorten that turn, get in a little bit close to the double, and hope that between Aaron and Sanavisto could sort of use their relationship to just work out the spot to that jump off quite a short approach. Relatively competitive for Falter, 72-76, so 6th position on the ranking. Remember, it is only 12 who are going to make it back. So starting to get a real sense of how this Hermès Meter 50 Classic winning round is going to shake out. Getting some very, very good horse and rider pairs, just getting a little bit unlucky. I think we're going to see a lot here with the single rail down, just the one against them, 4 faults. Louis L.N., the ride now for Zoe Conter of Stefek Stables. Another cannon bred, this one registered in the Swedish Warmblood stud book. Zoe and her sister Emily, last night's 5-star Grand Prix winner. Emily were part of the Nations Cup team for Belgium last week. They finished on the podium there, and Zoe herself ended up top 5 in our Nations Cup Grand Prix last weekend. So the Conter sisters having 2 very, very good weeks of Grand Prix here on circuit. And I think you see in riders now already doing the numbers that you have a rail quite early like Zoe did, and you just settle into a nice rhythm. What you're looking there then is to use this class as a nice training opportunity. It's a really lovely course. Alan Wade designing meter 50 specifications, a lot of jumping to be done out there, and your horse can just come out of this feeling really nice, enjoying the arena, enjoying the job, ready then to tackle week 10 of circuit next week, which is going to be our Horseware Ireland week. 74.29, not super slow, but with 4 faults and 10th position at the moment. Zoe Conter, as we expected, and as she probably predicted when she had the rail early on, fairly certain not to come back for the winning round. 10th at the moment, and not even halfway through the starting field. Well, a member alongside Zoe and Emily and Peter de Brabander of the Belgian team last weekend, Nicola Philipparts, Belgian Olympian Nicola, here with Derby de Riverland. Nicola, I think, still the only rider this circuit to have won 2 editions of the Adequan WEF Challenge, taking week 4 and week 5. And Nicola also a top 10 finisher in the week 7 5-star Lugano Grand Prix with his other horse here, Katanga van het Dingeshof. Again, you just look at some of the tests being set here. You jump your triple combination, you swing right around more than 180 degrees back to the pale green, and then you're riding a bending line down to the net jets in the following vertical. Just struggled there a little bit for rhythm and fluency between the pair, and then Nicola has to really keep the horse going onto this final line, but he does a great job of it. 70.25, not quite as fast as Jordan Coyle and for goal, but Nicola Philipparts and Derby de Riverland, the winners of the challenge during WEF 4, the Adequan WEF Challenge, they go through on paper at the moment as the second best of what is now just 4 clear rounds. So Nicola Philipparts giving us our 4th clear round there a moment ago after 15 trips. So we're still sitting at about 1 in 4 as our conversion rate. Michaela Langmaier, Mimosa van der Rollebeek on course here for the USA. Rafferty Farm LLC's the owners of this Belgian warm blood bred mare. This horse Mimosa was Michaela's ride for a podium finish in the World Cup qualifier at Thermal, Desert International Horse Park over on the west coast. Indeed, those west coast horses and Tour having their own spring season now, with the last couple of weeks of the Desert Tour underway just at the moment. And Michaela here just trying to tread that very delicate balance, I think, between not going super fast and hoping, therefore, that you've got the rhythm and the rideability to deliver a clear round. And that's what she does. 75.56. It goes 5th of 5 clear rounds there for Michaela Langmaier and Mimosa van der Rollebeek. Tough though. The more clears you start to accrue, the less likely it is that every clear will make it back for the winning round. As I say, we've got about 50 on the start list. We've only seen 16 or so. So we are not quite a quarter of the way through, and now we have 5 clear rounds for 12 available places. Class winner with us during the course of week 8 of circuit, a career winner of the week 12 Rolex Grand Prix, the circuit finale here at the 5-star level. Margie Golston-Engel, US Olympian. Garber Show horses Bartolome and Gladewin's partnerships Decas. Decas top 10 during the Adequan WEF Challenge of Lugano week 7. And another horse, Jack of Hearts, winning an international competition during Nations Cup week last week. That's quite interesting how there's a sort of mirror image test there. You come out of the triple combination, you swing past the in-gate and then have to push away from the in-gate to the pale green vertical. At the end of this line, you ride past the in-gate and then have to push away from it to get to the Japanese fans. And Margie is clear. So again, it is potentially good news for Margie, but it's also not great news for everyone else, because if we're going to get so many clears, somebody on a clear is going to miss out. Margie goes third at the moment. Michaela Langmeier on a clear sits sixth based on time, and there are only 12 places available in the winning round. So our world number one, the multiple winner of the World Cup finals, the Olympic gold medalist and the individual world champion, Henrik von Eckermann. Team Minuteman LLC's Minuteman here, the Vigo d'Arsuis-bred Belgian stallion. Henrik with his top horse, King Edward, on the podium here last night. Been a great addition to circuit to have the world number one with us here over the course of the winter, when he elected not to ride his top string indoors. Decided that wasn't the best for King Edward this winter. We all wondered then what exactly King Edward would end up doing, and the next thing was the entries were in and the world number one pops up in Florida. Just when we see the open water there by the NetJets fence, it was incredibly influential last night in the opening round. I think double digits of faults out of what ended up being 39 starters. I think we had 11 or 12 riders fault out at the water in the Bainbridge Company's Grand Prix. Minuteman, a top 10 finisher in last weekend's CSIO Grand Prix. And going the right way about potentially another good Sunday result, as Henrik gives us our 7th clear round. He also now goes into 3rd place. That pushes Margie down a place. Michaela Langmeier's slowest of our clears, now only worth 7th place on the ranking. Jordan Coyle, though, still with the fastest, 69.15. We have 1 4-faulter and 1 clear, sub 70 seconds. Well, amongst those 5 Grand Prix wins on circuit, it includes in previous years this week's Grand Prix, the Bainbridge Company's Week 9 Grand Prix. Laura Kraut, Laura here with the Stars and Stripes Emeraldo 4, for the native of South Carolina. Of course, Olympian once again last summer in Paris, part of that silver medal winning team with Balatinue. As she remarked when she was inducted into the Hall of Fame, every medal, every accolade really, as a team rider, has been as part of the US team. Plenty of very impressive individual honours as well over her storied career, but showing no sign of slowing down, as she also remarked at that same induction evening, feeling like she has one of the best strings of horses she's ever had. So pulling the rail from the NetJets and not hustling along, it must be said. So Laura Kraut might put herself out of contention straight away. We've already got some 4-faulters who can look at the list and know that they're not in. Gabrielle de Matas Machado, Christian Kukuk, Zoe Conte, Lily Keenan, Stefan de Freitas Barcher. Laura with 4 in 73.43 goes 11th for the moment. Sitting 12th on the bubble is the 4 faults for Tyser Irwin. There are 5 4-faulters currently with a chance of qualifying, were we to stop the initial round of qualification now. But of course we will be carrying on, and I'm sure we're going to get a few more clears, which will cost a few more of those 4-faulters their place. Michael Murphy, our next to go with Kaida CM for South Coast. Michael and Kaida, winners of the two-star Grand Prix a few weeks ago during WEF 4. And during our major weeks, week 3 and 4, alongside a 4-star tour, 5, 7 and 9. Along the 5-star tour, we have these two-star internationals. And we have a week-long sponsor as well on them. And thanks so much to Baxter Miami, who have been the sponsors this week of two-star action here. 2 weeks ago up in Terra Nova as well, placing a top 10 in a meter 45 ranking Grand Prix up there. And our $62,500 prize fund here will equate to making this a world ranking class for our riders. I mean, for the likes of Henrik von Eckermann, for instance, it's not going to make a huge difference to his world ranking. But for Michael Murphy, it could be a nice fill-up were he to take a decent prize check here today for a rider just outside the world's top 10%. Michael is clear in 72.44 and joins the podium potentially for the moment. He's in third best of our clears. But as we say, it's good news for Michael, bad news overall, because it's now 8 clear rounds and we've yet to pause for the midway. A couple of weeks ago, having an incredible week of sport up in Ocala at the World Equestrian Centre, and going there again next week for the League of Nations to represent France. Nina Malavé. Nina here partnered with Nikke van der Bisschop, the Olympic horse previously for Canada, in the ownership of the Rain family of Raleigh, North Carolina. Nina on her way home, jumping very, very well here as she starts to build up her partnership with Nikke. Being invited to the French National Championships this year, which will put them in contention for the European Championships team as well. Nina Malavé goes clear in our Hermès meter 50 in a time of 74.04, and that is going to be 6th position of what is now 9 clear rounds. We're going to see some clears on the sidelines. There's now almost no doubt about that. Guillermo Foroni and come on Van der Breembay, Brazilian contender. We so far have a very, very good 4 faults from Gabriel de Matos. That's the best Brazilian score on the leaderboard. Ireland, Belgium, USA, Sweden, France with clear rounds. And as I say, we're getting quite a few clears now, putting the pressure on, and it's going to require people to really ride a lot more forward at this course. We need to see a few more low 70s, even 60s in terms of the time with the 0 scores. They're getting the handle of how to deliver a clear over the fences, but then with the format here, those best 12 only coming back, it's going to take a little bit of extra work. So it's clear, it goes into 6th place for Guilherme, and come on, de Bramba, we're getting quite a lot of clears. That's our 3rd in a row. After, it was 4 in a row earlier on as well. Nicola Philipparts, Michaela Langmar, Margie, and Henrik von Eckermann. So, really building them up. We've got 10 clear rounds for just 12 available places. Here's Nicky Galligan back for a second ride with VDL Nikita van der Leeuwenhoek for Santa Rosa Group, seeing whether he can make it onto the ranks of the zeros and whether he can be fast enough to make it through to the winning round. So Nicky on 4. Mark Blumen with 4 and 69.98 is in 11th on our ranking with only 12 places available. Nicky's second rail there rules him out of the winning round with Nikita van der Leeuwenhoek. Good time, 70.70, a 4 or a 0 on that score. Could have felt that the door was open for a chance in the winning round, but the second rail really does count against you in this competition. Nicky on 8 faults there with Nikita. As we said, winner here of our competition, the final leg of Grand Prix qualification on Friday, with First Lady McLean Ward here for our Hermès Meter 50 Classic Rides. Beechwood Stables LLC's Callas. Again, if anyone can deliver a fast clear, it's this man. He will have come in here knowing exactly, 1, what he has to do at the moment, and 2, has probably already analysed and considered what it's going to take to get into the winning round. He'll have a great feel for the horses and riders he's up against. He'll have a great feel for how this course has been riding in general terms. Super snug over there in the net jets. He just creates a little bit of space so he's not quite so close to the wing at the following vertical. So easy to tap a wing like that with your foot if you end up really far over. But again, he's all the way here down the left-hand side and left of centre there at the Hermès. He is thinking about every inch, every moment he's in this ring. 57 seconds there taking off for the fans. Not the most fluid and forward jump because he was taking that short turn and Callas suddenly went, oh, okay, there's a big vertical here. McLean and Callas, 70.13, not quite the fastest, but very, very competitive. Jordan Coyle, 4 gold, still out in front in terms of the 0 scores. And now we have 11 clear rounds. For the Wellington, Florida-based Glenby Farm, it is Brian Cannan, Captain Brian Cannan, and Castlefield Dream. The Clinton bred here for Brian. Again, we see Brian and his string of international horses featuring throughout our international tour on circuit. And like a lot of riders, choosing to make Wellington his base because of the access to this circuit. Smoothly done up through the triple combination. Castlefield Dream responds to that quite nicely. He's on a decent angle when you see it live in the ring across that pale green fence, and that might have cost him. I think it's set in Alan's mind, Alan Wade, the designer, that you do jump straight over the mint green fence and then ride a curving line, whereas Brian thought that there was an opportunity there in his plan to just cut across the mint green and get a little bit more direct down to the net jets fence. And there, it all is a trade-off, because he was probably a little wider out to the Japanese fan than he would have been if he'd still been on the clear. And look at this, overall, it's a decent enough speed that he set for himself, 73.33, but with the 4 faults, it is straight out of the qualification zone, unfortunately, for Captain Brian Cannan and Castlefield Dream, with 4 faults and 15th position. Mark Blumen and Conquer PS, the fastest 4-faulter, the only rider with the chance of bringing forward or going forward to the winning round on faults. The winning round format, though, is that if you make it into that round as one of the best 12, your score gets returned to 0. So this is a strict qualification round, with the winning round, everyone starting again from scratch. But as we said, as we got a feel for a few minutes ago, and now really looking for sure with 11 clear rounds, that we are going to see some zeros on the sidelines. So it is going to be zeros only going forwards, so everyone really starting on a level playing field anyway. Eduardo Pereira de Menezes and H5 Nocando. Out over the Hermès fence, carrying the 4 faults at the moment. Eduardo Pereira de Menezes, not far to go home, but Mark Blumen with that very, very fast 4 faults earlier on, the only rider on faults with any chance of making it back to the winning round at the moment. This is going to be near, but not faster. Eduardo, 71.57. It does indeed just go 1 place behind, 13th at the moment for H5 Nocando. And Eduardo Pereira de Menezes. So as we get to halfway, we raise the poles. We'll be welcoming in our team to look after the arena surface here in the midst of our $62,500 Hermès Meter 50 Classic. We have 11 clears at the moment. Jordan Coyle, the fastest of them. The clear, feeling most under threat, is potentially Michaela Langmeyer and Mimosa, the slowest of them, in 11th in 75.56, and on the bubble in 12th qualifying spot at the moment. Our fastest 4, Mark Blumen and Conquer PS, who were first in the ring. Plenty more action to come in our Hermès Meter 50 Classic after we set up the arena to tip-top condition, and we'll be back to the action in just a little bit over 10 minutes.
I believe in goals. I believe in dreams. I believe in passion. Your success doesn't depend on a calendar. Your success depends on the passion that's burning inside of you each and every single day. You should not need a calendar to switch to another number for you to get motivated. If you're waiting for that to better yourself, if you're waiting for that to inspire, to be passionate, to grow, then you are setting yourself up for absolute failure.
You need energy, you need focus, and you need strength to drive performance and supercharge your metabolism. Only Almaced's superfood protein gives you the sports nutrition fuel you need to boost your energy and perform like a champion. Almaced, a natural, nutritionally complete superfood protein that is scientifically proven to absolutely maximize your performance. Almaced, an official sponsor of the Winter Equestrian Festival.
Thanks so much. Thanks. This has been great. Changing the strategy makes a lot of sense.
Doors.
Keep an eye out for the invitation.
Can't wait to see it.
Bring us together. A dedicated Fidelity advisor can help you open those doors with a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your
The
wealth.
architect left the plans in the back if you want to take a look.
She's so ready to take over.
For retirement and everything else you're looking to build.
We'll get there.
Your Fidelity advisor can help your legacy last for generations. Doors were meant to be opened.
Explain 17 years of outperformance in 30 seconds? It can't be done.
We can tell you that we founded Origin Investments because investors like us deserved a better option.
We're proud to be the largest investors at Origin.
Yet we've never made an investment decision in 30 seconds. We don't expect you to either.
So when you have more time, learn how Origin can help you generate passive income and grow your wealth.
Giving back has been something that's always been incredibly important to me.
Doesn't matter where you come from all over the world. We are all people. We need to do something together.
I think if you've helped one person, you've made an impact.
This younger generation is what inspires me.
I think an extraordinary life to me would be to take chances, to take risks.
You can't make yourself be iconic. It just, you are.
When I look at a painting and my heart starts beating, that's impact. Or a piece of jewelry, definitely.
The cowboy hustle is physically demanding. No doubt you gotta be tough. But even more important is your mental fitness. Your brain has to be firing on all cylinders to perform, to be clear, to concentrate, and to focus. I'm a father, a cowboy, a businessman, and a musician, and so much more. I drink Brain Java House Brew, packed with the brain power blend of essential vitamins and minerals my brain needs every day to get it done. Low in natural sugar, low in calories, low in carbohydrates, and low in sodium. It's a great natural and healthy alternative to energy drinks. Brain Java. Be mindful, be present, turn on your brain.
You'll know Mars for our confectionery, but we're also the people behind Buckeye Nutrition and many horse and pet food brands. Our research has been responsible for breakthroughs in animal welfare. In fact, Mars has been part of the equestrian community for almost 90 years. We sponsor events like Kentucky and badminton, work with riders like Andrew Hoy, Lauren Nicholson, Ben Mayer. We even named one of our most famous brands after a horse. Mars Equestrian, building a better world for horses, pets, and people.
New look, more comfort, same feeling. What else you need?
something like the US Open, it would be incredible to have in your trophy room.
It was typically the hardest Grand Prix of this winter season down here.
Trying to get to the highest level. As long as I don't make a mistake, he can do this very easily. Getting closer, I would like to think, so I'm there to compete.
Come on the grave here, Spencer Smith for the USA.
Obviously, it's a sport, but at the same time, the only reason I do this is because I love horses. Hi, buddy.
He's really been an incredible horse.
Everyone wants to win a Rolex Grand Prix.
I think adding the US Open in a great new initiative, and I think it's only going to bring more excitement and more prestige.
More ground line, please.
First jump is nice.
It's really all leading towards the US Open.
The person that stamps their name on it is going to, kind of go down in history, and we all want to do that.
So hearing there from some of our sponsors and partners throughout circuit here at the Winter Equestrian Festival, and a little bit of a prelude to the jumping leg of the US Equestrian Open Series, which will run as part of our $750,000 Rolex Series Finale Grand Prix here during week 12. So an Olympic partnership we get to see here in our Hermès Meter 50 Classic. Carl Cook over here for the next couple of weeks, and riding a very, very calculated campaign, I think, towards that $750,000 Rolex Grand Prix. He qualified, but did not show in last night's five-star Grand Prix. We'll see whether the planning, the preparation, and meticulous on both sides comes through with that ultimate victory in week 12. Carl Cook here with Helen Senior-Ospi's Caracol de la Roque, Paris Olympians last summer and part of the silver medal winning team for the United States of America. So remember, as we went into the break, we had 11 clears already, and unfortunately, Caracol de la Roque, just for the last part of the triple combination down, you see it in the background there, on 4 faults, and you need to be very, very fast 4 faults to even get into that 12th place to go in front of Mark Blumen on 69.98. This pair could easily be that fast, but it might be effort for nothing, because, of course, with 11 clears already, we're only just coming back from midway. We would expect that we are going to have more clears than we have spaces in the winning round. So Carl, in the 71 seconds, he actually just goes behind Mark Blumen in terms of the 4 faults, but it is 13th position. Adrian Sterling already has one of her clears. She's in 9th position with Los Angeles de la Sens in a time of 74.63. Back with another chance now. This is Starlight Farms Facitol S by Verdi for the US team medalist. Remember, clear, so important at the moment. Delivers through the triple combination line. Of course, Adrian will come with the knowledge, with the experience of having jumped clear once. Every horse very different. You probably need quite a different plan for each different horse, but having executed one plan and answered all the questions of the course, that's going to give you good confidence coming here for the second time. And Adrian is going to post another 74 odd seconds clear, 75.40 in fact. So that now does it. That is our 12th clear round. Adrian goes into 11th position with that performance and sits 9th earlier on. So both of those you feel might be under a little bit of pressure as we make our way through it. But now nothing but a clear round will get forward, and you need to be faster than Michaela Langmaier's 75.56 or you'll go straight out of qualification even if you're clear. Another ride now for Gabriel Matos Machado. Gabriel de Matos, who was top 5 in our Grand Prix last weekend during Nations Cup week. Second ride, as we mentioned, this time Niels van der Mottelhove, and looking for a clear to try and stand a hope of coming back for the second, the winning round. And clear it will be. It's not going to be terribly slow either, 73.15. Let's look at that. That is going to take up 6th position on the ranking, and it pushes a clear out. Michaela Langmaier, Mimosa van der Rollebeke lose their place in the winning round. The rider who's the current leader of standings on the Hermès Meter 50 Championship Jumper Series, Luis Fernando Larrazabal. Victoria Huerta-Matis, Check Me Out PS is the ride. Two down, 8 faults for Luis Fernando Larrazabal, and that could open the door to the likes of Nicola Philippart, Spencer Smith, Niall Nassar, Cian O'Connor, the next on the ranking of the Hermès Championship Jumper Series for the Meter 50 Series, going into the final few weeks of circuit. Podium finisher last night, Harry Charles. Harry now with Eve Jobs Zinedeh for today's Hermès Meter 50, having been our podium finisher last night, riding Sherlock out of that 5-star jump-off. As we said, at the moment, even clears losing their place in the winning round, so every rail, like the one that Harry and Zinedeh carry, so the final score for Harry then is going to be 4 for jumping, 4 for time, as he just winds the wick right down with Zinedeh after he has the rail. Some exciting things in their future, though, as Harry, Olympic team gold medalist, partners with Zinedeh, a European Championship individual medalist previously for Philipp Weishaupt of Germany. Michael Duffy is our next to go, riding for Rushy Marsh Farms. Rushy Marsh Farm, Frank and Monica McCourt, supporters of some great amateur classes here over the course. And we see Monica in the ring quite frequently as well. But sponsoring the Don Little Masters in particular, which is quite often a feature of our Sunday mornings here. Michael, championship medalist himself at Milan, the same championships where Zinedeh, the previous horse, was an individual medalist. Michael won the Miami Beach leg of Globals last spring and parlayed that into a podium position in the eventual Super Grand Prix. Fortunately, this line not coming together for him. The Bainbridge and now the A element of the triple combination down. He's on 8 faults. And again, you get a rider like Michael. There's no doubt he knows exactly what the first rail even meant, and yeah, he pulls out of the net jet. So starting to get into, is he going to carry on? Is he going to use it as a schooling round for the horse and just keep it sweet? It's a lovely track to jump without the pressure of being against the clock. So you do have that as well. I mean, it's always a great opportunity to jump an Alan Wade track. Michael Duffy and RMF Clinton Sundo electing to retire, and no great surprise as they were already on 8 faults. So 13 clears for 12 places. Jordan Coyle, though, and McLean Ward are 2 fastest, feeling pretty safe. Nicola Philippart is there as one of our clears at the moment as well, with Derby de Riverland, a previous winner on the Adequan WEF Challenge. And Nicola Philippart is our second-ranked rider on the Hermès Championship Jumper Series coming into today's leg. And the leader, Luis Fernando Larrazabal, not qualifying for the winning round at this stage. Zoe Conter back with us. Zoe this time with Davidoff de la Suisse, Belgian bred. Great education for these contest sisters as well, growing up inside the Stefex operation of their father, Stefan. And of course, over the years, so many great riders. Daniel Deusser, of course, still the #1 rider. Kendrick Clarissa Brinkop, also a great rider for Germany, riding out of the Stefex stables, previously Lorenzo De Luca. Yeah, also going to retire there, having just had the round go a little bit against them. Davidoff Delassus, Zoe Conte. So although we've got to exactly to the point we expected, where we're putting clears to the sidelines and taking the best 12 of more than 12 clears, in fact, it has just been one going to the side, and that is, unfortunately for them, Michaela Langmeier and Mimosa van der Rollebeck. Got a few more to see in the opening round here of the Meter 50 Classic, part of the Hermès Championship Jumper Series throughout circuit. This is the 9th week formally of circuit, of course, actually on paper the 10th, because we have Premier Week as well over the turn of the new year before we get into our full 12 weeks of the Winter Equestrian Festival. Well, a champion jumper in national divisions earlier on this morning. Patricio Pascal of Mexico. Patricio here with Alicia Santa Rosa, the Presley Boy bred mare from the Mexican stud book. So it needs to be faster than 75.40 if they're clear to have any chance of qualifying through to the winning round. Patricio actually picking up a very, very good pace here early on. See, they backed off a little bit like that, triple combination. A lot have come down that line and actually just been quite steady in over the Bainbridge. Patricio wanted to carry his pace a little bit forward in the Bainbridge and just let the triple combination back the horse off a tiny bit. 69.15 from Jordan Coyle around this track with 4 gold. Starts to look more and more impressive, and indeed also Mark Bloom, and let's not forget going around with a single rail down in under 70 seconds as well. And this is one of the places where you can really make a difference. I mean, you have to balance what's actually possible for your horse in terms of steepness of the turn back, the length of approach you're going to give them to that delicate vertical. And Patricio Pascal and Alicia Santa Rosa here are right in the mix. It's clear in 71.37, 4th best. That's how closely they're stacked. He's what, 2.2 seconds slower than Jordan Coyle, and that is 4 places on the ranking. 71.37 for Patricio into 4th, and that pushes Adrian Sternlight's Fakitol out of the top 12. Peter Lutz and Lobster Stuteri's Katrina sitting on the bubble in a time of 75.13. .98, 6 seconds, covering the entire top 12. Christian Kukuk Riding for the second time, this with Coleridge Equestrian LLC, Sepano Balibé. Sepano Balibé, a very good horse previously for Richie Vogel here on circuit, now with the Olympic champion Christian Kukuk. Sepano Balibé, the Rolex Week 12 Grand Prix winner here in 2023 with Richie Vogel. And now in the hands of our 2024 Rolex Grand Prix winning rider, Christian Kukuk. It was an area where we had quite a few problems early on the course, was coming into that double out of the south end of the arena. Christian and Sepano having it down for 4 faults. You see again, you know, how riders will use the situation they find themselves in very different ways. Christian there still wanted to ride this horse around his plan for the turn back to the fan and get a feel for how that might play out in future classes. Christian Kukuk, Sepano Balibé, 74-1-0 with 4 faults, 25th spot. My goodness. We have 14 clear rounds, the 12 best of them eligible to come back for the winning round. Well, another rider hoping to capitalise today on Luis Fernando Larrazabal's failure to qualify for the winning round. A man who sits third on the Hermès standings going into this 9th edition. Spencer Smith with Gotham Enterprises LLC's Key Bell. Winning Nations Cup team in Dublin last year. Just one of the many team appearances Spencer has had in recent seasons for Robert Ridland's senior US team. Spencer still on the 0 score, but is he going to be fast enough to make it in? 75-13 to beat, to just get into the top 12 for the moment, and of course that doesn't guarantee it. Spencer and Key Bell going to be in the low 70s. 73-73, and that is going to go middle ranking, lower middle ranking, 9th position for Key Bell and Spencer. But look at him reach forward there. He's very, very pleased with the way Key Bell jumped and jumped clear over this track as he joins the ranks of the clears, and we'll just have to wait and see whether 9th highest at the moment is going to be worth it in the final analysis when just 12 are brought forward to the winning round. Carly Anthony, heavenly for portfolio horses now. Carly and Heavenly have been in great form here over the circuit and indeed here in the United States over the last 12 months or so. And of course, Carly and Heavenly, a big part of that performance that gave the US victory in last week's Nations Cup here during circuit. Looking like another clear round here, and looking at the clock as well. This is very, very pacey from Carly Anthony and Heavenly. 69.85. It is only the third round, whatever the score, to be sub 70 seconds. Carly Anthony goes second best on our ranking with Heavenly in 69.85 with our latest clear round. That, in terms of clears, is going to bring us up to a grand total of 16. So there are 4 riders now who've lost their place, even having jumped clear. Adrian Sternlich with Los Angeles, Peter Lutz, Adrian's other ride, Fakitol, and Michaela Langmar. Sitting on the bubble now is Nicky van der Bisschop and Nina Malvet for France. One of the riders sitting right up in the rankings in 4th at the moment with Derby to Riverland is Nicola Philipparts, and he comes back now with Stonehill Farm of Colts Neck, New Jersey's RMF Coco de Talma. Nicola really moving here as he takes on the early few questions on course. Just needed to hold RMF Coco de Talma. You could see there in the little interaction of the horse's head and neck as he just put the pressure on trying to wind the horse back. He couldn't quite get it there. A touch flat over the middle part of the triple combination. So that's their 4 faults. Nicola Philipparts, RMF Coco de Talma, it is going to be with the last stand as well, a grand total of 8 faults in 72, proving though that they have the turn of foot. Clearly that was what Nicola was just thinking about, trying to achieve and recognise and ride against pretty much his original plan. You would have thought there on about 72 seconds. Of course, being clear, he would consciously or unconsciously, as I keep saying, have probably been that little bit quicker because he would have been more committed. So Nicola Philipparts still sitting 4th with Derby to Riverland. This man still sits 1st with 4 gold, his Adequan WEF Challenge winner from 12 months ago. This is Jordan Coyle, back with us, this time Elan Farms King Cannon GP. Time to be caught out, actually pulls away. Then as it turned into 8, then with the circle away being initially classed as 12. The hand goes up, Jordan Coyle and King Cannon won't post a score here, so Jordan still our leading competitor with 4 gold as we look to see who will be the 12 coming back to us. World number 1 Henrik von Eckermann is in amongst it on Minuteman, 7th best on the rankings at the moment on 72.81, and he comes forward this time with the 9-year-old Belgian-bred Steely Dan. Henrik Steely Dan just coming down this curving line around the water to the net jets. Unfortunately, that falls for them. So 4 faults. Henrik Steely Dan won't feature in the winning round. But again, it's one that takes the pressure off his other ride, Minuteman, sitting inside the qualification zone at the moment. 7th of 16 clear rounds, of which only 12 get to come back. Going to end up with time penalties as well, Henrik, with 8 plus 3 overall there in the initial round of our Hermès Meter 50 Classic. In action last night in our Grand Prix. That was with Hidalgo, the horse that we've seen on the podium during Grand Prix action here on circuit. That was actually during week 6, IDA Developments week of international action here. Kathleen Driscoll, Kathleen in our Hermès class with Plain Bay Farms Casaletto. Kathleen and Casaletto up to the Hermès, still on the 0 score. Interesting how influential normally this Japanese fan fence is, how influential it would appear to be, or has the potential to be, off that difficult turn, and yet it hasn't fallen very frequently. But what Alan Wade has done is he's just tried to push any problems you have there, any slight being off your mark, all the way down to the final line. We've seen problems at the Lugano, we've seen problems at the Cathedral Towers. Kathleen Driscoll, though, has no problems, and in 71.97 goes into 6th position with our newest clear round. Pushes Nina Malave and Nicky van der Bisschop out of the winning round, and Guilherme Dutra of Brazil is our one under pressure now with Come On van der Bremba on 74.03. About 4.9 seconds covering the whole qualification zone, and that will probably get smaller and smaller. A horse that was ridden to the Tokyo Games by his coach, Cian O'Connor. This is Kilkenny for Susan Magna, and in the irons is young Max Watchman for Ireland. Max and brother Tom, big part of our Brain Juice U25 series, but already incredibly experienced athletes. Max, who's been on Nations Cup finals and winning 5-star Nations Cup teams for Ireland already. Max's brother Tom giving us the first clear last night in the Bainbridge Company's 5-star Grand Prix. Posted a impressive performance across the 2 rounds of that big competition. Max Kilkenny coming to the final line on a 0 score. But remembering they need to be faster than 74.03. I mean, just over the 70 seconds, that is a very well judged round from Max Watchman and Kilkenny going into 5th and 71.33. Pushing Guilherme Dutra and Come on Van der Bramba out of the winning round. Spencer Smith and Key Bell sitting there on the bubble, and Spencer is one of the riders who would have hoped to pick up valuable Hermès Meter 50 Series ranking points today, as he is one of the top 5 and all looking to hunt down Luis Fernando Larrazabal's long-time lead. So this could put the cat among the pigeons, because Mark Blumen is back with us. Mark, who went very early in the draw and actually delivered one of the very fastest rounds, albeit with a rail. If he can replicate the plan and the stride pattern here and leave them all standing with Del Mar, he will almost certainly lock in his place in the winning round, because anyone who goes to the head of affairs now, I think mathematically cannot be pushed out of contention for the winning round. I think our top 3, Jordan Coyle, Carly Anthony, McLean Ward, just trying to do the sums, have all got their place now guaranteed. And Mark Blumen and Del Mar, what he knows for sure, for guaranteed, is that he is not in the winning round, having had that rail just coming out of the doubles. So Mark Blumen, Del Mar, and Mark's 2 rides just on the single fault. It looks also like he's not going to be anything like as fast as his earlier horse here. His Trailblazer horse under 70 seconds, and comfortably so. This one half a second over that marker. Mark Blumen, Del Mar going into 20th position. Dara Kenny and Vlog Show Stables, Chic Chic by Comme Il Faut for the Irish Olympian, podium finisher in the Lugano 5-star Grand Prix, career 5-star Grand Prix winner here on circuit, and rider who took the Adequan WEF Challenge here for week 9 back on Thursday. Just gets a little bit caught up near into that fence, but Chic Chic works hard, very, very careful horse. And Dara, is he going fast enough? That is the question. It's not only about getting into the qualification zone at the moment, which you have to jump clear to do so, but it's also about recognising who's still to come. You know, you've got Abdel Said, a 2-time winner of the WEF 9 Grand Prix, Tiffany Foster, Olympian, Tom Watchman, clear in the Grand Prix last night, and his brother already delivering a very, very good plan there for mid-honours and potential qualification for the winning round. We've got Katie Dinan still to come, Alessandra Volpe, Erin Ballard, Keane O'Connor, McLean Ward one more time too. So Darren Chic Chic with that single rail down at the double of white and gold rails going away from the south end of the arena in front of the jury box for 4 faults. So fresh from five-star victory in Doha, Qatar in recent weeks, Abdul Said joining us now on circuit, I would imagine right the way through to the Rolex finale. Rides AS Trading's Calvaro for our Hermès Meter 50 Challenge. One of the 10 highest ranked riders to participate in last night's Bainbridge Company's five-star Grand Prix. Abdel Calvaro is still on the clear at the moment. Remember, you need to be pretty pacey to make it through into the winning round. We have more clears than places as things currently stand. Really just working hard to balance this horse, get themselves together for his plan to execute down the final line. 74.27. My goodness, yeah. 15th position, Abdul Said and Calvaro clear, but not fast enough in this company to come back for the winning round. So Tiffany Foster, Esther, Tiffany, Canadian Olympian with this entry for Five Roosters. Is another Comme Faux horse. Over the net yet, still on the 0 score. And taking this half circle around the bottom of the ring. Looking for this line up to the double. It's good. It's about 50 seconds there. And again, that feels broadly similar to where Abdul Said was. So I'm not sure Tiffany's necessarily got the foot speed to put herself in contention for the winning round. Yeah, 69 seconds. Somebody was home by now. She's going to be 69 seconds elapsed before she jumps the Lugano. Tiffany and Esther going to join the ranks of the clears. The time, 74.91, out of contention. 17th position, goes behind Adrian Sternlich's Los Angeles de la Sens. But as again, we see Tiffany, another rider, just reaching forward. Very, very happy with that clear jumping performance from her horse, Esther. So jump off contender in last night's Bainbridge five-star Grand Prix, Tom Watchman of Bora's Laura for Coolmore show jumping. just keeping an eye on, as well as the 0 score, the kind of elapsed time. And again, this is broadly similar to what we've seen from Abdul Saeed and Tiffany. Well, by the time he gets to 50, he's a bit further up. He's taking off over the Hermès, and they were middle of that distance, probably closer to the double by the time they got to 50 seconds. Is that going to be enough? Tom Watchman, Amara's Laura. Couple to go. At a minimum, needs to be faster than 73.73. And this is going to be almost neck and neck with brother Max. It is 71.61, a third of a second slower than his brother to go into 7th place at the moment. And I think that is straight into the qualification zone. Top 7 with 5 left to see. If we are right, because we've just been hunting a little bit up and down the start list during this Hermès Meet of 50 Classic. I'll make sure it is the 5 left, but if that's the case, the 5 will result in us qualifying everyone who is 7th or better. So that's the 2 Watchmans, Patricio Pascal, Nicola Philipparts, McLean Ward, Carly Anthony, Jordan Coyle. Katie Dinan, Amira B. For Katie's Grant Road Partners operation. Like the early rail there, we haven't seen too many problems with that big maroon and white oxer. And Katie and Amira B getting disqualified by their rail there. Yeah, we're up to 21 clear rounds for 12 places in the winning round. Taking that fan fence down as well, making it 12 jumping falls. Clear of the last, so at 12 it will be inside the time for Katie Dinan and Amira B. Obviously just even with the early rail, deciding to keep going with Amira, getting a good round of jumping in, thinking about the couple of weeks here ahead on circuit. So close to the end of the draw, Alessandra Volpi with Cedar Fox LLC's Belinda taking up the challenge. And, of course, with those penalties for Katie Dinan a moment ago, it gives us another qualifier. That's Kathleen Driscoll and Casaletto, by our reckoning, who make it through as qualifiers for the winning round. It'll all be confirmed when we see our top 12 here at the end of the initial round, and that's not far away. Alessandra we see for the first time in the Hermès class here towards the end of the draw. With Belinda. And again, we're going to get 50 seconds on the clock somewhere up this line where we get the rail anyway. We say Tom Watchman ended up, being about here. 50 seconds jumping the Hermès and got himself into the qualification zone. Alessandra, of course, carrying the rail. The time somewhat immaterial. You would say, oh yes, eventual ranking, but actually the top 12 places coming back for the winning round and the prize money in this competition not going an awful lot further than 12th. 4 vaults for Alessandra and Belinda in 70.82. So as we suspected, it was going to be one of those better times, but the rail too expensive, unfortunately, the way this competition is broken out. Now with Dior, we welcome back Erin Ballard, riding for Sarah Friedman this time, the Diamantino Swedish Warmblood mare. So Erin also going to pay the penalty here for a rail. Erin and Sanavisto earlier on with one down as well in 72 seconds. So unfortunately, Erin's neither of her rides going to make it forward to the winning round in our Hermès finale for Sunday of week 9. And again, they're posting decent times these last few, but it really is to no avail with the rail down. 75 for Erin and Dior, and 2 more to see. So our top 10 on the rankings: Henrik von Eckermann, Michael Murphy, Kathleen Driscoll, Tom Watchman, Patricio Pascal, Max Watchman, Nicola Philipparts, McLean Ward, Carly Anthony, and fastest so far, Jordan Coyle, all now know that they need to saddle up for the winning round. Carlos de Matos and Margie Goldstein-Engel waiting to see what happens with the last 2 on course. Cian O'Connor, Ironman on course. Cian, his 2 students, Max and Tom Watchman, have their places secured in the winning round. Can Coach Cian make it through as well? Cian O'Connor, Nations Cup rider once again this spring here in Wellington. He was on the first ever Wellington Nations Cup back in 2002 and had a special presentation at his home Nations Cup show last year, having passed the 150 team appearances mark in summer of 2024. Cian, Ironman, doable from here. He's on the 0 score. The time is going to be okay. Cian O'Connor and Ironman will snatch a spot in the winning round. 72.96 at the cost of Margie Goldstein-Engel, and he is just good enough. He'll be back quite early in that round, but 11th at the moment is a guaranteed qualifier because there's just 1 more starter by our reckoning. So could he make it 2 qualifiers? McLean Ward 3rd with Callas at the moment in terms of time, and they come back in reverse order of time. Our 12 qualifiers. McLean is going to try and challenge now to make it 2 horses in the winning round here with Robin Parsky's First Lady. First Lady and McLean are competition winners here on the 5-star tour on Friday morning. Hustling along here, McLean. The rider who, just through his program, he's developed a mental position where he's super confident in his horses. He rides with that confidence. And it just turns into win after win after win, and an incredible length of career as well. So First Lady, again, he's quite sharp and determined off that corner, but it just meant that they weren't quite in the perfect spot for that double to reach the back rails. So McLean, we will see again with Callas late on in the winning round, but it won't be 2 horses for McLean coming through. So McLean and First Lady 71-61. It would have been comfortably qualified, but the 4 faults, as I say, it is going to count against them. So taking the 12th spot, Gabriel de Matos Machado, he will be first back of the 12 we will see for the winning round. As you can see, the poles here raised in Wellington, so that we set up the surface and, of course, the slightly different course. There will be a shortened course produced for the Hermès Meter 50 Classic winning round. And, of course, in the mix as well, let's not forget, Spencer Smith just missing out on qualification. He ended up 14th. I wonder if he get terribly many points for that. But who we will see get points on the Hermès rankings is the current second place standing rider, Nicolas Philipparts, with Derby de Riverland, qualified well for the winning round here today, trying to take over the lead of the Hermès Challenge from Luis Fernando Larrazabal, who's been out in front for several weeks now here of circuit. So here, listed in the order they will come back: Gabriel de Matos Machado, Cian O'Connor, Henrik von Eckermann, Michael Murphy for the USA and Kai de CM, Kathleen Driscoll, USA, Tom Watchman, Obora's Laura, and they are going to be our first 6. Then it's Patricio Pascal for Mexico, Max Watchman, Nicolas Philipparts, McLean Ward, Carly Anthony, and Jordan Coyle and 4 gold, the winner of the Adequan WEF Challenge, the pair, horse and rider, that won that Adequan WEF Challenge 12 months ago here during week 9, are in pole position for the Hermès Meter 50 winning round, the classic part of the Hermès Championship standings here during WEF. We say going to be about 10 minutes. We'll rejoin the action. We'll have our starting list sent out to the warm-up. They'll be getting ready, and then we will see who will be the victor in our winning round. So Florida Coast Equipment Tractors just in the process of leaving the arena, leaving us 12 trips away from the result of our Hermès 5-star Meter 50 Classic. $62,500 in the prize fund. 12 on the start list based on qualification from the initial round. All clears, all bringing forward, therefore, 0. In a format where if we'd had anyone on faults, they would have been reset to 0 anyway. But overall, Alan Wade's first round track delivered 22 clears, of which just the 12 best are eligible to come back. And Gabriel de Matos Machado will be finishing his warm-up. Coming forward then it'll be Cian O'Connor, Henrik von Eckermann, Michael Murphy, Kathleen Driscoll, Tom Watchman, Patricio Pascal, Max Watchman, Nicola Philipparts, McLean Ward, Carly Anthony, Jordan Coyle. Interesting course selected by Alan from here, the jump set up for the initial round, starting out over 1, 2, 3, going up the ring. Then it's a turn around the right shoulder back to number 8, the vertical at the end of the line that had was previously preceded by the net jets. Then it is the same half circle loop around the bottom of the ring, back to the double at 9AB and straight up till 10. And that's where a lot of people ended up having their faults in the initial round, keeping them out of the winning round. After number 10, it is going to be a left-handed rollback turn again, but it's to a new fence 15, the other side of the gazebo, the Florida Coast Equipment Kubotas, rather than back to the Japanese fans. And then they come across from that on a shorter and quite steep angle it might be, unless they choose to ride the curving line and get straight for it to the same last fence, number 13. So first back with us, Gabriel de Matos Machado, Niles van der Mottelhoven, just having a look at that turn back from 3 to 8. So flagged up by one of our top riders as a potentially influential turn earlier on. Could be where the class won and lost here in our Hermès Meter 50 Classic for week 9. As I say, we start out over the same first 3 as before. So from the Palm Beach equine down to this fence, which didn't go very frequently in the first round, the big maroon and white oxer. And here, Gabriel de Matos, well, he's not actually going too aggressively around that turn. They really have no choice but to go outside number 2, the Palm Beach equine there on their run from the vertical back up to the double. Niles van der Mottelhoven and Gabriel de Matos Machado being pretty steady here, jumping the Hermès. Picking up immediately the left-hand loop around the gazebo and puts a little bit of an angle on that, looking to go straight to the last, but it comes with him for 4 faults, and 4 it will be for Gabriel de Matos Machado and Niles van der Mottelhoven, 44.12 on the clock. So 3 entries for Carlswood, all qualified. Cian O'Connor and his 2 students from Coolmore show jumping, Max and Tom Watchman. Cian will be the first of them to go here with Ironman. The Olympic individual bronze medalist from London, team medalist for Ireland, and as we were mentioning earlier on, more than 150 team appearances in his career for Ireland. Ranked amongst which is the first in 2002 and the most recent edition of the Nations Cup here in Wellington. Cian still on the 0 score, but so too was Gabriel de Matos at this point. He jumps the Florida Coast equipment, it stays up, so this could be our first double clear. Cian O'Connor and Ironman making themselves the ones to beat in 42.69. Henrik von Eckermann, Minuteman. What can the world number 1 do here? Again, this is a class that would suit this horse as the horse gets more and more experience at the 5-star level. It has been the speed classes that have been their forte and their focus in Henrik's program. And again, a little bit like Gabriel de Matos, he's just being quite conservative here early on. Naturally very forward rider. He gets a good spot there. He's on quite the good angle across number 3, turning back, number 8 in fact, turning back to the double and up this distance to the Hermès. Now, immediately, if you can, almost starting your turn in the air left to get back to this Florida Coast equipment. 5 seconds in it at the moment. Henrik von Eckermann, Minuteman. Faster. It's very, very close. Half a second up. 42.12 for Henrik von Eckermann and Minuteman. As playing out a little bit as you'd expect, because they were faster than each other turn by turn in the first round, and therefore in the winning round you would expect them to be able to show the same turn of pace. But it is that little bit that sometimes horses have a real extra gear when it comes to it. This winning round, though, it's funny, it's not like a jump-off. It is quite different, and Alan Wade really does actually make that come true here in the way he has set this course. Michael Murphy, Qualifiers CM. Going to be a little bit of a step up for a horse that Michael was focusing on the 2-star tour with us here on circuit earlier on, being 2-star Grand Prix winners. Just touches the front rail of number 3, but it stays in place. Oh, that came up very, very quick, but Kaido was quick thinking. Lands and moves up into the pace Michael wants. They're going to the Hermès. They take that in their stride. Flying here as they turn back to the Florida Coast equipment. On the angle across that. 1 to go. Is he going to be sub 40 seconds? It's very much possible here. Michael Murphy, Qualifiers CM, 40.23. Not quite, but it is into the lead for the US rider Michael Murphy and Qualifiers CM, as we do continue to follow form and get faster and faster here in the winning round of the Hermès 5-star meter 50 Classic. Kathleen Driscoll, Casaletto. One of our later qualifiers going just in the last group of horses and riders in the initial round. Actually, Henrik von Eckermann, Kathleen Driscoll, Max Watchman all coming back to back and all posting clears fast enough to be part of this winning round. Nicely over the Hermès, but I'm just not sure we're quite in touch here with Michael Murphy's leading time. Good swing out there. We've seen maybe a little bit neater around the gazebo. She's all out towards the last. And it goes, unfortunately. The time is in arrears as well, 41.79. Front rail off the last for 4 faults. The time, had she stuck it, would have gone into second place, but more than a second and a half behind Michael Murphy. Kathleen Driscoll, though, with the 4 faults, goes into 4th place. So Tom Watchman posting a time in the initial round that immediately went into qualification at that stage, with just 5 remaining to start, and Tom now comes forward. So Tom on the 0 score over the Hermès. He's riding very, very positively around this turn. 8 or 7 seconds to get home, though, from the Florida Coast equipment. 40.23 to beat. Again, it is so, so close. Clock turns red. 41.33. It's going to go into second place for Tom Watchman. Michael Murphy just beating the draw there a wee bit. Patricia Pascal for Mexico. Alicia Santa Rosa, the time to beat, 40.23 seconds for the USA's Michael Murphy. Still some important rounds to come, not least Nicola Philippart's hoping to potentially move into the lead of the Hermès standings today. Two early rails down, so our double clears will hold on to those top 4 places. Patricio with another rail. 12 already as he comes up to the Hermès here in the winning round. And you see the sort of difference there when Patricia's not really trying about the size of turn he takes out around the gazebo. Last down 2 for another 4 faults. In comparison to some of those very, very competitive loops around the gazebo that we saw from the likes of Michael Murphy and Tom Watchman. So, Michael Murphy, Kaida CM, 2-star Grand Prix winners with us here earlier on circuit. They are our leaders of the Hermès Meter 50 Classic on 40.23. Into the top 5. Max Watchman, Kilkenny. Tom Watchman very competitive in 41.33. 1.1 seconds slower than Kaida CM and Michael Murphy. Can Max get any closer here? Nicely just puts a little bit of angle on the first to shorten up the turn and the time spent turning to 2. Nice distance down to 3. over the Hermès. This is one of the points on the course where it was won and lost. Good around there. Florida Coast Equipment, 40.23 to beat. I'm not sure he's quite got it. He's going to be in the mix. Kilkenny just takes a weak kick at the last. Max Watchman, Kilkenny, 2.2 seconds slower. And that is going to go into fourth place. Michael Murphy, Tom Watchman, world number one, Henrik von Ekman, Max Watchman, and the Watchman brothers coach, Cian O'Connor, are top five at the moment, all jumping double clear. Nicola Philippart's Derby to Riverland, the winners already this season of a leg of the Adequan WEF Challenge. Nicola, this is an important round not only for today's Hermès Classic, but also for the season-long Hermès Championship standings. A victory today, I think, for Nicola could easily propel him up to be the leader of these standings going into the 10th week of circuit. Not, of course, too many weeks left. Great spot there. And look at the angle he puts on that. But this is now crucial. Does that angle foul him to get a good spot here at the double? Very nearly. He rattles away at that back rail. Lands and really shifts. Round the gazebo. Never straightens up for that. Just takes it in his stride. Gets his eye in here on the last. Is he under 40 seconds? No, and he is a little bit slower. My goodness, 700th slower. 40.30 for Nicola Philippart's Derby to Riverland. Still, if he stays right up there towards the top of the table, Nicola Philippart's and Derby to Riverland will get a decent handful of points in the overall Hermès Championship standings. Michael Murphy, Kinda CM, still the ones to beat, 40.23. They are breathing down his neck, but can't quite get their nose in front. McLean Ward, Callis. Can McLean use his incredible experience, his clock in his mind in terms of pace as well, to overtake Michael Murphy? Going to come down to the USA and Ireland now, really. It's McLean Ward, Carly Anthony, and then Jordan Coyle for Ireland as our last to go. McLean on the 4 faults. So Michael Murphy remains our leader for the USA. One more challenger, as we said, for the USA. One more for Ireland. McLean Ward, Callis, 1.8 seconds adrift. And again, that would have been slowing down on the way home, and it ended up being 2 down. So horse and rider pair who jumped very well for their nation in Florida Coast Equipment Nations Cup jumping a week ago here on circuit. Carly Anthony and Heavenly, pair that were on the podium just behind Mimi Gotchman, if memory serves, at the Upperville Grand Prix last summer up in Virginia. Carly is off. Remember, we're going through these entrants based on how fast they were in the first round. Michael Murphy has really risen up the ranks, though, by finding that extra gear with Kaida CM. And that's putting the pressure on. Carly, beautiful spot there, well over to the left-hand side of that vertical. So she's got a short distance. She should be able to take one stride fewer here up to the double, but it goes. So now it is Michael Murphy versus Jordan Coyle, with Carly Anthony going to the wayside. The best she could hope for is 7th if she can be faster than Kathleen Driscoll and Casaletto. .41.79 to beat for the fastest 4-4 to 42.23 it will be. So going into 8th position for Carly and Heavenly, with our top 6 places being held by double clears. Michael Murphy, the fastest of them for the USA. Right, it was part of our jump-off last night in the Bainbridge Company's 5-star Grand Prix. Jordan Coyle with 4 gold. And a time to beat 40.23 seconds. Four riders for the USA in this, 4 riders for Ireland in this. And those are the 2 nations now in a head-to-head battle for victory. And it's the USA, Jordan Coyle and 4 gold, pulling the rail out of the double. It was such an influential line in the opening round that to see it repeated, and indeed all the way from the approach at fence 8 on back around the bottom of the ring to 9AB. We knew it was going to play its role in this winning round. Great choice of fences to make the winning round track here from Alan Wade today. And Jordan Coyle and 4 gold will go into 7th position in the final ranking with 4 faults in 40.95 seconds. Michael Murphy is our winner. Michael, who qualified through in the lower half of the draw as well. So he really does rise up the ranks. He definitely found an extra gear in comparison to his competitors. And we'll be hearing the Star Spangled Banner play out, the national anthem of the United States of America, of our final international competition here for Bainbridge, week 9. Victorious, the USA, in the shape of Michael Murphy and Kaida CM. Previously 2-star winners here during the 2025 Winter Equestrian Festival. So getting set for our final awards of the weekend for the International in the Hermès Meter 50 Classic. We're looking forward to seeing the updated Hermès Championship standings as well, with that 2nd place finish for Nicola Philippart's Derby de Riverland, giving them valuable circuit points and maybe, just maybe, chasing down long-time leader Luis Fernando Larrazabal of Venezuela to take up the lead in the Hermès Championship. Joining us then for the award ceremony is going to be our top 3. Tom Watchman for Ireland. Gets the podium today, having been part of the jump-off performance last night in the Bainbridge Company's 5-star Grand Prix as well. Nicola Philippart's Derby de Riverland taking valuable championship points with the second place here today, and Michael Murphy and Kaida CM consolidating on the 2-star victory in Grand Prix action here a couple of weeks ago on circuit, take a 5-star class win here in the Hermès Meter 50 Classic, and wearing that much coveted signature Hermès orange cooler for the victory. We recognise in reverse order of merit, so first to step forward it's Tom Watchman and Aboris Laura for our representative today of Hermès. Well, the H&M We Love Horses rider, Nicola Philippart's Belgian Olympian, Derby de Riverland, victors during a leg of the Adequan WEF Challenge, so very close to taking victory here in a leg of the Hermès Meter 50 Classic Series, but not to be. It is second place honours, but of course very consistent, sitting second on the championship standings going into today's leg. But taking this victory of the Hermès with Kaida CM, we congratulate from the United States of America on the winning round time of 40.23 seconds, Michael Murphy, Kaida CM. So congratulations to South Coast Stables here of Wellington, Florida, and their victory with their Kaida CM horse for Michael Murphy of the United States of America. And to honour that now, the national anthem of our winning rider. Congratulations, Michael Murphy. Congratulations, all of our winning round contenders, and especially all of our double clears. That concludes Bainbridge Company's Week 9 with us here, thanks to the Hermès Meter 50 Classic. We will get all set now for our coverage to come from WEF 10. The 10th week of circuit is a 4-star international jumping week presented by Horseware Ireland, but of course, competition around the showgrounds in every division of hunter, jumper, ponies, cross rails, you name it. Wednesday, we start competition here. And of course, on Wednesday, don't forget, with also our Lobster Future Challenge Young Horse Tour playing out over Horseware Ireland Week 10 as well. Wednesday, don't forget to tune in at 5 p.m. for the next edition of WEF Weekly, and some of the highlights, including the Adequan WEF Challenge Cup coming in on Thursday. That is going to be a midday class for the 4-star competitors next week. Major feature of Grand Prix qualification, the Horseware Ireland Grand Prix, is our Saturday Night Lights. $215,000 in the prize fund for that one. And Sunday of next week, 7 days' time, we'll have the finale Grand Prix of the Brain Juice U25 series as well. Some of the very best young riders in the world riding for a share of $50,000. A lot to look forward to in Week 10. Thanks so much for joining us here for Bainbridge Company's Week 9 of the Winter Equestrian Festival. Talk to you again soon.